A very good morning to everyone. Today, let me start with the next chapter. Actually, the next chapter is Aptitude and Foundational Values of Civil Service. I'll start this after Emotional Intelligence because Foundational Values of Civil Service and then Public Service, Civil Service Values, that will be a continuation, right? This one and this one will be a continuation. So let me start here. Emotional intelligence concepts, utilities in their administration and governance. We'll try to complete it. What is emotional intelligence? What are the concepts of this? What is the utility of emotional intelligence? There are three things. What are the concepts? First, we should know what is this emotional intelligence. What is the concept? What is their utility? And how their application in administration is there. We'll just look at it. For few quotations which are related to emotional intelligence, whenever we are writing, we can end our answer with these type of statements. Socrates said, an unexamined life is not worth living. So you have to examine your life. If you want to examine your life, you have to examine your emotions. Right? Plato said, all knowledge in the world have emotional base. Right? Socrates also said, know yourself. Right? That is what the meaning. And an unexamined life is unworth living. Winning over ourselves is more than winning over the oceans. Edmund Hillary told, it is very easy to climb the Mount Everest compared to conquering oneself. Conquering ourselves is the greatest thing compared to conquering the mountains. The inner self of human being is more deeper than an ocean, more farther than the outer space, more inquisitive than the understanding the galaxy. Now, why all these are present? Because your emotional intelligence starts at a place called emotions inside the individual. So, if there is something to understand, the first thing that is your emotions, right? So, these are the quotations which can be saying that how emotions are very important. Now, see, this is one more statement which Aristotle said very easy, very beautiful statement. It is easy to become angry, but to be angry at the right person at the right time in a right situation is the exclusive domain of a brilliant mind. Very important because anger is one type of emotion, right? So this is called emotional intelligence. You can use these type of statements. It is easy to become angry, but to become angry on a right person at a right time in a right situation, right? You are showing that anger with intelligence. Now, what are emotions? Emotions are positive impulses which allow men to grow, sometimes makes them man's life perilous. They are building blocks of our life. They allow men to grow, emotions allow us to grow. At the same time, if you are not aware of that, they make our life perilous, right? Very dangerous. They are the building blocks of our life. Building blocks of our life. Emotions are of two types again, just like your attitude, positive attitude and negative attitude. Emotions are two types, positive emotions and negative emotions. Now, every person will be having positive and negative. Now, emotional intelligence is how you overcome your negative emotions or turn that negative emotions to be positive, right? This is called emotional intelligence. How you can make negative emotion to be a positive emotion, right? How you push over the negative emotion into positive is more important, and that is all about emotional intelligence. In any circumstance, starting the class with ethics daily morning, it gives a boost because it is one type of a positive emotion. We can control our day totally with these type of things. One more statement. Intelligence will make you an administrator. If you are passing the UPSC exam with your intelligence, it makes you an administrator. But emotional intelligence will help you to become a very good administrator. Very good administrator. Now, until 1995, emotional intelligence has played a negligible role in administration, or emotional intelligence was not given that much importance because there were two persons known as Weber and Taylor, two public administrative thinkers. So they thought that the two important thinkers, they have given a very, very minimum role to human touch and emotional aspects in public administration. They said that emotional intelligence doesn't have anything, or emotions doesn't have anything to do in your administration. So they thought that administration is something which is beyond your emotions, or an administrator should be free from emotions while exercising his duty. According to Weber, see, Weber said one statement: impersonalization, impersonalization, dehumanization, dehumanization are the two cardinal virtues of an administrator. Impersonalization, don't personalize your feelings. Dehumanize it. Dehumanize means don't show the emotions of a human in administration. You have to be bounded by your rules. You have to be binded by the uh, rules of the duty. That is what Weber said. According to Weber, impersonalization and dehumanization. Dehumanization means don't show human emotions, don't show personal emotions whenever you are an administrator. So people believe that what they said is correct, and so until 1995, almost civil services across the globe, they were like this only. So this you can remember. But when love and skill go together, you can expect a miracle. Weber and Taylor concentrated only on the concept of skill, planning, management, timing, meetings, etc. But beyond work, we are all human beings first. Human beings show emotions, right? So what this is, whatever Weber and Taylor said, though they are concentrating only on the skill, but skill should be combined with human emotions such as love, because when love and skill work together, we expect a miracle. Miracles are going to happen only not just because of your skill, but because of your emotions also. So the first person is Daniel Goldman. You might have heard him. Daniel Goldman, Emotional Intelligence, How It Can Be More Than IQ, is the book what that he has written. Emotional Intelligence, How It Can Be More Than Intelligent Quotient. The perception of the world towards, this is called origin of emotional intelligence. So first, Weber and Taylor said that you have nothing to do with emotional intelligence or emotions in administration. But Daniel Goldman said that it has something which is more than IQ. Hence, after this book was released, people started their perception towards emotional intelligence was totally changed. In Western countries, it is called social intelligence, people's intelligence, or social skill. Knowing about the society, knowing about the people, or knowing about having that skill to manage the society is called social skill. So in Western world, we also use emotional intelligence with these terms: social intelligence, people's intelligence, and social skill. Right? I was dealing emotional intelligence. I started with emotions. That is, emotions are type of feelings which will be starting at the individual. Hence, your emotional intelligence starts at individual emotions. So you should be able to control your emotions first. For that, you have some quotations that I said. And one example of emotional intelligence is you have to be emotional intelligence means anger example of Socrates. And then I was discussing how emotional intelligence emerged in administration. Initially, Weber and Taylor, they said impersonalization and dehumanization are two important aspects of bureaucracy. Remember that, okay? However, Daniel Goldman, after he has written this book, people's perception towards emotional intelligence has changed. And then they used to think skill and love has to go together to create miracles in administration. Love is one type of emotion, and every human being is showing some uh, skill, right? Every human being is showing some emotions. So this is the thing. This is what we have discussed so far. I am moving on. How emotional intelligence will help an administration. Just this is to remember how to write an answer or how to think on the points. If you are very emotionally intelligent at work, work will be a joy. It will be no more a tiresome thing. Work will have an emotional base. It brings attachment to work. Internally, the subconscious mind work on it, right? Whenever we are working with our emotions, then work will be totally a joy, right? Positive attitude will develop because of this. Team spirit will be cultivated. Better interpersonal relationships will be developed. Credit and trustworthiness will be developed. Credibility will be developed. Trustworthiness, better productivity, good work culture, work with human face. Work with human face, not like robots. Civil servants no more are robots. They work with human face. Next, it promotes objectivity, improves rationality. So it promotes objectivity, it improves rationality, it minimizes the conflicts in turbulent situations, better conflict resolution, right? Organization goals will be promoted. So why I have written all this? Just to remember few points in this, like work with human face, credibility, trustworthiness, right? Goals will be promoted, conflict of resolution will be resolved, like that. Examples of some people, you have to write some examples who carry work in spite of emotions. All human beings do have emotions, right? They do get emotions. We will be where our emotions are, right? Even though if you are working, if your emotions are somewhere, we will be thinking about that. Array, that thing has happened yesterday, I met this person, I met that person. So even our thoughts will be there itself, because wherever our emotions are, we will be there. Physically we will be here, but mentally we will not be here. Develop balance in life or equanimity in life because of emotional intelligence. For example, a half filled cup can be visualized as half empty or half filled. It depends upon your thoughts. This is again someone who has written yesterday, I think Rukmini has written this for positive attitude also, right? Look at this emotional intelligence. A soldier rushes to his commander and says that we are surrounded on all sides by enemies. The commander replies, in order to instill faith in their commander, the commander replies, that is great, we can fire in any direction. No need to worry, you can fire in any direction. Again, this can be used for positive attitude and showing the emotions of officer, right? A soldier rushes to his commander and says that they were surrounded on all sides by enemies. The commander replies, that is great, we can fire in any direction, right? Now, what is emotional intelligence? It is your emotions plus rationality. That is your knowledge, logic. That is called emotional intelligence. Remember this formula. Emotional intelligence is emotions plus rationality. That is called emotional intelligence. Now, what are the challenges? First one, you have seen what are the positives of emotional intelligence. Now we'll just look at what are the challenges in implementing emotional intelligence in administration. Administrators are amateur in the field of emotional intelligence. They are not trained by psychologists, hence expecting higher emotional intelligence wondered from them is a political, is a not a practical thing. It is saying that administrators administrators doesn't have any knowledge about emotional intelligence because administrators are not psychologists. Hence, just by studying ethics, don't expect them that they will be having emotional intelligence to the highest level, right? That is the thing. So they were very amateur in the field of emotional intelligence. That is the first thing. As they are very amateur, they are not trained psychologists. Expecting high emotional intelligence wonders from them is not a practical thing. This is first drawback, right? We'll do different graduations. We are not graduates in psychology. Hence, just by giving some small training, if you are expecting high expectations on emotions, then that is not a correct thing. Now look at this, very important. The second one is emotional intelligence says that you have to not only understand the emotions of you, but you have to understand the emotions of other person. Now, as per Socrates, you can understand the emotions of yourself. But if you want to understand the emotions of other person, then always there is one chance of misunderstanding the emotions of other person, right? What others are feeling. Hence, if you are not emotionally intelligent, people might misuse that emotions, right? Look at this point. No one, not even a devil, no one, not even a devil can enter into the human brain and can actually detect what is transpiring inside the human brain. Yes, today you come to me, if I'm an administrator saying that, sir, I want this, I want that, you'll be crying on your face, but I exactly doesn't know whether you are really crying or whether you are manipulating your emotions just to get that benefit, right? So no one, not even a devil, can get into your thing and know that what exactly is transpiring in your human brain. Hence, understanding the emotions of other persons exactly is not that difficult. It is not a proven science. That is very important. Got this point? So this is another limitation of emotional intelligence. Now, even if an administrator sits 24 by 7 hours for 365 days, he cannot complete most of the work in given time. Right? Normally, administrators are very busy in their work. They do not have time to complete the work which is on their desk. Right? And expecting emotional intelligence in public space in most of the times will actually end up negligence in the work itself. Right? At times, as Weber have said, you have to be very strict in your work. Irrespective of the emotions of the person, go ahead with your work. Even though if you are doing your work, you are not finding time. Now, if you start giving space for emotions, right, then the work gets delayed. So that is, people might end up in negligence of their work also. Emotional intelligence is highly subjective, intermixing of professional emotions and personal emotions. Again, very important. As emotions are something which is very private, which is very personal, now emotional intelligence creates one conflict of interest. That is, you will be intermixing professional emotions with personal emotions. Hence, it always gives to subjectivity but not objectivity. Objectivity is something which is based on rationality. Subjectivity is something which is based on some emotions, right? Which is based on some not on rationality. This is rationality. Objectivity is rationality, right? This will be not on rationality. This will be on some pure emotions. So emotional intelligence always draws the conflict of interest between professional emotions and public emotions, right? And drawing a line between them is very difficult. We have seen drawing a line between professional ethics and personal ethics is very difficult thing, and emotional intelligence is going to increase this overlapping part. Most of the professional relationship in modern days are not in person. They are very remote one-to-one interaction. Now, this is the problem today. If a person is coming before me, if I look at him, I can understand his emotions. But in the modern day, the public relationship has changed very much. Today, it is no more a face-to-face interaction. Rather, people are going to have like teleconferences, advent of information communication technology in work, right? This doesn't reflect. If I am talking on phone, how can people understand whether they are having emotions or whether they are speaking the exact emotions, right? So the concept of emotional intelligence is getting dwindled in work, because with the advent of ICT in work, right? Not only in civil services but in any other sector, because of this ICT, emotions are coming very very less, because there is remote one-to-one interaction or face-to-face interaction. Now, one more drawback of emotional intelligence is, or limitation of emotional drawback, not drawback, limitations of emotional intelligence is, theoretical emotional intelligence is different from practical emotional intelligence. In real life situations, people may not have actually the actual test of emotions is determined by the actual situation. Now, see, this is what I said. You can manipulate it, right? If you are very knowing about the emotional, if someone is knowing about how his emotions can be used, right? They will be manipulating it. You might have seen, like, if you are going onto the streets, there will be some people who will be coming with a child along with them and saying that this child is very hungry, please give us something to eat, right? Like, all the destitutes, they will be coming and they will be trying to evoke your emotions and get whatever they want. So this is called, in practicality, people are misusing emotions. Hence, it is very, very difficult for an administrator to differentiate whether that example or whether that emotions are really true or they are manipulating the emotions just to get the benefits. That is what the thing is. So in theory, it looks like, okay, emotional intelligence is very good, right? Goldman has said very good. But in the practical sense, if you are going by your emotional intelligence, then people might also make you a fool out of your entire knowledge. Over the age and experience in the administration, one becomes more apathetic, right? By seeing over a period of time, initially in your first year and second year of service, you will be very, very emotionally intelligent, but over a period of time, we will get adjusted to the working environment and we will become apathetic, right? Without anything like emotions. Too much of emotional intelligence in public work. Too much of emotional intelligence in public work leads to subordination to get lenient. If I am very emotional to my subordinates, then subordinates consider me as lenient, right? So, for example, if I am very, very close to a person or a student, then if I am too much emotionally linked to them, then they will call at any point of time and say that, sir, you do that, you do this, right? Subordinate may consider the boss for granted. So this is the another disadvantage. Not only outsiders, even your subordinates don't respect you or don't listen to you if you are very, very emotionally intelligent. So these are some limitations of emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is not having all the positive aspects, it is also having some drawbacks or some challenges. These are the challenges. Rationality plus emotions is called emotional intelligence. First thing is immature. We doesn't know, after becoming administrators, we are very amateurs in this field. Hence, it is very, very difficult to expect great things from administrators on emotional intelligence front. And no one knows what is transpiring in other human brain, right? Already civil servants are having great work. Now, if you are going and asking them to follow emotional intelligence, then that work is going to get delayed because of your subordinates may get lenient over a period of time. And it is like mixing your professional ethics with personal ethics, and subjectivity and objectivity always gets mixed up. Next, modern day governance is like increasing role of ICT. Hence, there is no more face-to-face interaction. As a result, I cannot know what exactly are the emotions of other person. theory of emotional intelligence is practically different, because in practice, if someone has practiced how to use emotions, then they can misuse it. Over the age, civil servants automatically become apolitical. That is the thing. We have seen what is emotional intelligence. I have said how emotions are important for an individual, right? I have said how this emotional intelligence in administration has evolved. I have said what are the advantages of emotional intelligence. I have said what are the limitations of emotional intelligence. In what way emotional intelligence is helpful to an administrator in promoting the interests of an organization? Look at this. Emotional intelligence, this is the question. Emotional intelligence is helpful for the administration in promoting an organization, not only public sector but also any other sector. Emotional intelligence is maintaining, regulating, channelizing not only our emotions but also the emotions of people who come in contact with us. Very important definition. It is not only about me, it is like how I should channelize the emotions